Hi, and welcome to Legal Affairs. My name is Diamond Liddy, and I'm the public defender for the 19th Judicial Circuit. We have a great show today, and we have with us Jim Nichols and Sandra Oliveira, and they are both with Centennial High School in wonderful capacities. We're going to hear about that in a minute. But Jim, let's start with you. What exactly is your title?
I am a criminal justice instructor at the Law Academy.
Okay. In Centennial?
Yes, at St. Lucie, West Centennial.
Okay. And Sandra?
I am currently the assistant principal at Centennial. However, I am a former criminal justice instructor.
Okay. And both of you have been in the school system for many years, and we're going to talk about that. Sandra, let's start with you. You have been with Centennial, and then prior to that, for how many years?
So I've been with Centennial for 17, maybe going on 18 years now. I started there as a criminal justice instructor. From there, I helped to build the program and grow it into what it currently is today. I also took on additional duties and responsibilities while I was in the classroom. I became their ACE coordinator.
What is an ACE coordinator?
So ACE is it's an international accelerated program that's administered through the Cambridge University in London.
Okay.
So it offers students an opportunity to take accelerated courses throughout the course of the year.
Right.
And then at the end of the year, once they've completed the program, they sit for an exam, and if they pass that exam, they earn college credit that they can then transfer to any college or university that they then choose to attend once they graduate high school. So I became the ACE coordinator while I was still in the classroom. And then I moved into leadership, and at that time, our current principal, Ms. Popwell, asked me if I would be interested in assuming leadership roles, which I took on some leadership roles, and from there I went into becoming an assistant principal, and I've been doing that for 3 years now, going into my 4th year as an assistant principal at Centennial.
Wow. Okay. Where did you come from before Port St. Lucie?
So prior to Port St. Lucie, I came from Massachusetts. While in Massachusetts, I did practice law. I was a practicing attorney. I did family law, and I did bankruptcy law and public benefits as well. I practiced for 10 years while in Massachusetts, and then decided to move my family to Florida because I had a young child at the time, so I needed some time to kind of stay home with him and be a stay-home mom for a little bit. But then once he went into school, I needed to get back into the workforce, and that's when I decided to get into teaching because I needed something with a little bit more flexibility, and landed the position at Centennial doing criminal justice instruction.
Wow. And I was going to ask that, but you kind of answered the question. How did you segue into heading up the criminal justice?
So while I was practicing law in Massachusetts, I also taught. I taught a law studies and a paralegal program at one of the colleges.
Right.
And I kind of got a feel and a taste for teaching. So when I moved to Florida, I looked into different areas of teaching, either at the collegiate level or even at the high school level. And once I learned that different high schools here in our county offered criminal justice and law studies, I then started to inquire about what I needed to do to get certified so that I could possibly teach in one of the programs. And luckily, I just met with the right people and worked on getting my certification, and then worked my way into becoming a criminal justice instructor at Centennial.
Wow. So the burning question for me is, what do you like better, being a lawyer or a teacher, or
so
what?
I do find that being a teacher was very rewarding when I was in the classroom,
Right.
building those relationships with students, and also with fellow colleagues, and just working collaboratively with other teachers to build programs and incentivize students to do better and move mountains, so to speak.
Right.
It's very rewarding being a teacher, because you know that you're touching many lives, especially because the students that are coming into the criminal justice program are students who want to pursue, they want to pursue a career in the field, either in law enforcement, or they want to go to law school, or they want to do something
Right.
law or criminal justice related. And it was always very rewarding to know that those students coming into my classroom had a passion, the same passion that I had for what I was teaching them. And so while I enjoyed being a lawyer, and I do miss it sometimes,
Not much though, I can tell.
I do feel that education was the better call for me, because I feel that having the knowledge and the experience that I acquired and being able to share that with other students to help them pursue their passions was very fulfilling to me. So that's kind of my story and how I got to where I am today. And then as far as getting into the leadership role, it was just a matter of just taking it to the next level and expanding my horizons and broadening what I could do beyond the classroom and into the school setting and maybe even into the district setting.
And Jim, I haven't forgotten about you. We're going to get to you in a second. But on this point, I don't want to forget. I didn't know. Now maybe you were different, but I had no idea that I wanted to be a lawyer till I was midway through college. I'm just. How do you follow any of this? How many students on the high school level have this passion or think they want to be a lawyer and end up being a lawyer? I just think it's premature.
Well, it's interesting because I have had many students over the course of the years who have reached out to me, and they have gone on and pursued their dream of going to law school and becoming a lawyer. I actually still stay in touch with quite a few of them.
Well, and not to interrupt, but you know, you've been doing this long enough. You do, you know, it's a stat you can back up. You know,
and I have seen the difference, and I have seen the students who have graduated high school, gone on to college, gone on to law school, sat for the bar exam, passed, and are now either setting up their own law firms and their own practices, or they've branched out and joined other partnerships with other law firms, or they've joined corporations. But I do have quite a few students throughout the years who have come back and have reached out and said, hey, thank you for doing what you did, because of what I learned in your classroom.
Wow.
It propelled me to the next level. It propelled me to want to do what I'm currently doing. And I, quite a few, I mean, I can't tell you off the top of my head how many, but quite a few have gone into becoming lawyers. Others have gone into law enforcement, but they have definitely branched out, absolutely.
So of the, you have, what, how many years now have you been with? 17?
I started in St. Lucie County in 2006.
Okay, so.
So that's, about 17?
Yeah, okay, 17 years. How many of those who pursued the criminal justice arena aspect classes do you think, just a wild guess, how many do you think, what percentage ended up doing something in the legal field, whether it be become a lawyer or a law enforcement officer?
Oh, I don't know, but I would say definitely more than 50%.
Wow.
Because I know a lot of them do go on, and a lot of them will go to either IRSC, or they'll go to Kaiser, or even out of state and then come back. But a lot of them do go on to pursue something in the legal field. And when I say something, it doesn't necessarily mean that they all went on to become lawyers, because not all of them do.
Right.
But some of them become legal assistants, they become paralegals, they move on and work in the criminal justice system or in the court system, they become private detectives. It all depends on where their passion takes them. But I'd say at least 40 to 50%, I would imagine, would move on.
Well, maybe, and I don't want to bash St. A's and John Carroll, because that's where I went to school and they were wonderful. But maybe we didn't have anything like that, you know, when the dinosaurs roamed. You know, we didn't have any curriculum that was legally oriented. So maybe that is a great thing. No, that's terrific. Okay, Jim, don't go to sleep. Wake up. No, I'm just kidding. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, originally I'm from Indiana, and I had been a law enforcement officer for the last 30 years.
Wow.
The last 13 years that I was employed, I was the chief of police at our department. and really enjoyed that.
And where was that?
This was in a small town called Butler, Indiana.
Okay. Is that near South Bend?
We're about 2 hours east of South Bend.
Okay.
More closer to, we're in the northeast corner of the state, up kind of close to Michigan and Ohio both.
Well, I went to school at Notre Dame, St. Mary's.
Oh, okay, great, yeah.
I know South Bend. All I remember is very cold and very dark, you know. But anyway, Butler, I'm sure, is different, right?
Yeah, I'm not missing the snow, though.
Yeah,
I can
no,
tell
I
you that
gotcha.
much right now down here.
Okay.
But my wife and I knew that we always wanted to retire in Florida. I'd been down here many times. My father and her father both lived here. So once I was in a position to retire, I turned things over to the next chief that wanted to come in, and we made our jump. We were living on the west side of the state, actually, over by Fort Myers, and I saw the ad in the paper for a criminal justice instructor, and lucky for me, because as Mrs. Oliveira said, the job had not been open for 15 years, so I was very excited about the opportunity. So we went ahead and we took the jump. We moved over to Port St. Lucie, and it was outstanding experience.
Let's go back. When you said take the jump, so you left Butler and came here?
We left Butler and went to the Fort Myers area.
Oh, okay. And then came here. Okay.
Yes, and that was right after I had retired, so I had not worked out another employment opportunity yet.
And then got this one.
Yeah, so then we got this one, and so far it's been an outstanding experience. Really enjoying it. I was a criminal justice law enforcement instructor also in Indiana. And so I had experience teaching law enforcement officers things that they needed to know, was certified in numerous different practices, different types of skills that law enforcement officers needed to have in order to do their job, and also things that the state required of them in order to maintain their law enforcement credentials. So I knew that it was going to be along those lines. But I did find out that it's a lot different. But when I say that, I mean it was a lot more rewarding. My law enforcement officers would go to the academy for 15 weeks, and I was definitely proud of them when they graduated. But here in this setting, I go to school all year long with these students, and I get to see them come in all excited about the program, energetic, wanting to get in there, and I get to watch them all year long work very, very hard in the program. So when I do get to see my seniors graduate each year, it's extremely rewarding. A lot of pride, a lot of emotion when you see them walk across the stage. So far it's been an outstanding experience, and I'm just loving it.
Well, and so you've been with Centennial how long?
I just finished my 3rd year.
Okay. We're jumping around a little bit, but there's a lot to talk about. Why, and I know because of my position, having volunteered for different, the teen courts and given speeches on career day and things like that. I know that Centennial is definitely on the cutting edge in St. Lucie County for criminal justice and that arena. How did that happen, if you know, Ms. Oliveira?
Well, I know when I first came to Centennial, the program was already there. They had
It was?
It was. So
Okay.
there was an existing teacher who had started the program.
Who was that?
Mr. John Leonard.
Okay,
Yes.
of course. And he's no longer there?
No, he actually retired and unfortunately passed away a few years ago.
Oh, goodness, yeah.
But yes.
Okay, yeah, well, I've been around for a long time.
But the program, when I first started at Centennial, was already in existence, but it was small, meaning we didn't really offer much. We offered, I think at the time, only 3 classes. It was Criminal Justice 1, 2, and 3.
Right. And was this for freshmen or just seniors?
Yes. At the time, it was for incoming freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors, whoever wanted to pursue the academy as an elective, because they are elective courses. When I came on board, it was with the understanding that they wanted to grow the program because there was a large demand by the students requesting criminal justice, and there wasn't enough sections to offer.
And I'm sorry, let me stop you there. Is that the way it is in most high schools?
So not all of the high schools offer criminal justice.
I was going to say, yeah.
Currently, criminal justice is offered at Centennial, Treasure Coast,
Right.
and Central. Correct, Mr. Nichols?
I believe so,
Yeah, I don't think any of the other schools offer criminal justice. So as of right now, Westwood used to offer it, but I don't know that they still do.
Okay.
So what they did when I came on board was they wanted to offer more sections so that students had additional opportunities to take the elective courses and also pursue the subsequent years and essentially finish off the program, because in order to complete the academy you have to complete criminal justice 1, 2, and 3, and each course is a year-long course.
Okay, and again, let me stop you there. That is the graduation you're talking about, Mr. Nichols?
Yes.
So the academy is the culmination of 1, 2, and 3, and then a graduation. It's
Well,
or no?
Yes and no. So
Yeah,
currently, it's actually criminal justice 1, 2, and 3, and 4 as an optional fourth year for students who have started it as a freshman, or they want to double up in their senior year and take an additional course.
Okay.
A lot of them will sign up for 1, 2, and 3, and then once they get into their senior year, if they have the room in their schedule, they can take the fourth year course. In the fourth year, we give the student the option of either doing an internship, in which case we place them out in the community with either a law firm or with the public defender's office or the DA's office.
No, and it's so funny because they're all bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, do a great job, and it's funny, not to digress for a moment, but you know, my office knows, you know, there's some things that we stand for, if you will, as a public defender's office. One is helping clients not come back again and be our clients. And the other thing is helping children, you know, young folks, or those that, you know, are going to law school or thinking about it, giving them the ability to be with us, to see what we do, to intern with us, because I certainly would never have been where I am today if not for the love and the open arms of law firms and attorneys and different people who allowed me to carry their briefcases back in the day when there were briefcases, sit, you know, hang out with them to see. And so I really am a big proponent of allowing this. And you know, it's funny because it takes time. It's not like the attorneys don't have enough to do. So to have an intern by their side to show, explain to them what they're doing, take them to court with them, show them the ropes, takes additional time. And sometimes, you know, at first, well, 30 years ago, you know, you kind of got pushback. Well, you know, don't we have enough to do, blah, blah, blah. And then it's caught on, and the lawyers, you know, they'll come to me and say, Diamond, how come we don't have more interns this summer? How come we don't, you know? And it can be as short as, and I'm saying this because the public needs to know this, if they have a child, whether they're going to Centennial or not, that just thinks they may want to be a lawyer, whether it's criminal or not, and they want to just hang with us for a day or two to just get the feel of it, we welcome that. But anyway, go ahead.
So as I was saying, the fourth year gives students the opportunity to either explore internships, or they could pursue a certification. We have been adding multiple certifications to our program. The first one that we started with was what we call the ALP, which is the Legal Assistant Professional Certification. And that's a year-long process where we prepare the students, teach them the curriculum, and then they test and hopefully pass and get their certification.
And this certification is for what?
It's for them to become certified legal assistants.
Oh, wow.
Which gives them the opportunity to walk into any law firm with already that experience and knowledge of what
To
it
be a
takes.
paralegal,
Correct.
to do things.
Or legal
Wow.
assistant or legal secretary, absolutely. So we prepare them for that, for those who choose that option. This year, we started offering a second certification, which was the ESB. And Mr. Nichols, what does that stand for again?
Entrepreneur and small business.
Okay, Entrepreneur and Small Business Certification. So we actually had a pretty good success rate with the pass rate for that as well. And then the third one that we're working on right now, and Mr. Nichols can speak a little bit more to this one, is the 911 certification. And he has already done the training, and he's
Wow.
taken the exams, and we're looking into possibly expanding our program to give our students the opportunity who want the 911 certification to pursue it as well. But he can speak a little bit
Wow.
in more detail to that, because I know he kind of took that on his own and kind of ran with it and pursued it. And now we haven't offered it yet, but we're looking to possibly expand to offering that to some of our students.
Okay, so you have gone through the certificate. Is that what she just?
Yes, I actually
Okay,
went through.
and-
Yes, we actually went through the 911 dispatch course, and
Wow.
I'm a certified dispatcher.
And
right now for
where-
the state of Florida?
Where did you take that?
I took it through Clay County.
Okay.
They have a program up there, and one of
So you
the
physically went there, or you did it by Zoom, or how?
actually, yeah, I was very convenient. I did it right from my house. Yeah, it was all virtual, and there was other students in the course at the time. But with my law enforcement background, I knew it would be an easy course for me to go through and understand, because I have been in the dispatch center many times. and
Right.
I'm very familiar with what goes on in the dispatch center, how the job functions, what some of the job functions are, and what are some of the responsibilities of a dispatcher. So I was very excited when I heard about the opportunity, and looking forward to hopefully the possibility of offering that to our students. And
How many hours is the certification, Jim?
the classroom, it's 232 hours.
Wow.
So this would also be well over a 1 year long class. I think once I start teaching it, I can shorten that time frame a little bit.
Sure.
And hopefully get our students through in 1 year. But so far, just in asking some of the students what they think about it, has been a very positive feedback
yeah.
on it. One of the nice things about this is that once the students get their certification, they do have to take a state test, and of course pass that. But once they accomplish that, they would be able to go out and apply immediately once they're 18 years old, or if they already are 18.
For 911.
To
Wow.
walk right into a 911 dispatch job, yes. And dispatching centers across the United States are very short-handed right now. So the last I heard, there was numerous openings right here in this county. And so I think the students are looking at that as a great job, and has a lot of great benefits that go along with it. So so far, had a lot of excitement from the students when in discussions with them about the potential ability of offering that at the high school. So I think that'll be a great addition to our program.
Wow. Well, it's, again, back in the day, you didn't have the opportunity to set yourself up. Everyone is not well suited for college, for graduate school. I mean, it's not for everyone. So what a great thing to be able to do something like that, and know that when you graduate, you pretty much have a job waiting for you, because I know they're short-staffed. We just had them speak at a attorney meeting, and that's a tough job too.
It's very specialized. Unfortunately, sometimes they do have a high turnover rate due to the stress.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
it's the stress level, it's the emotional taxing, it's all of that. It's not just about answering a phone and dispatching someone to a scene. It's someone who's talking about suicide, someone who's been hurt terribly. I mean, it's tough.
Yes, I often wondered, was it harder to be a police officer and deal with it on the scene, or was it harder to be a dispatcher and wonder what's going on at the scene
Oh, goodness,
and
yeah.
not be there? And
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yes, and I think it's actually harder to be a dispatcher, not be there and try and put this picture together in your mind of what's actually going on.
And try to help them before it's too late. Yeah, wow. Believe it or not, we are almost out of time, and I know there's a lot of things we haven't talked about yet, but let's go back to you, Sandra. Again, if someone, and since I don't have any children in school now, what if someone is watching out there? How does it work? Do you have to live in a certain place? I mean, what if they hear this and they say, oh goodness, I want my child to go to Centennial? That will get them on the right track, and how can you do that?
So
No.
my recommendation and suggestion is first check with your zone school to see if they offer the program. And then if they don't, you probably have to reach out to Student Services or Student Assignment to see if there's a possibility of perhaps going to a particular school that offers the criminal justice program.
Okay, so it is possible, even if you don't live in the zone, so to speak.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. It's possible for students who don't live in the zone where the program is offered to get a curriculum transfer to attend a school that does offer the program. So it is a possibility. Once the student decides, this is what I want to do, this is what I want to pursue, then all they need to do is request it as an elective course, and then we'll put it on their schedule, and they can explore the different options, and hopefully if they like it and they pursue it, they continue to take the different levels, and they graduate from the program. And if they are successful and they complete the program and they decide to pursue it later on at IRSC, we do have an articulation agreement with them where the students will actually transfer college credits. So those first 3 classes that you would normally take as introductory courses at the college level would have been completed in high school through the academy program.
Okay, and we need to talk about that more in detail at some point. But let's go back. You're not saying that a student can go to the school that's in their zone and just come to you and do your classes. You're saying it would be an absolute transfer to
correct.
Centennial.
Correct.
Because of the curriculum or whatever. How often is that granted by the school district? I'm just curious.
Because we have multiple schools that offer the program.
Oh, I see.
It probably doesn't happen as often as you would think. But again, if you're in a zone school that doesn't have the program and you want to pursue criminal justice, then you can look into the schools that do offer it and then request a transfer to that school based on your desires to pursue that.
And I don't know if the other high schools have as a robust program as Centennial, because this is pretty darn impressive. And of course, I know you can't be objective. But do the other schools in St. Lucie County have programs as robust, or no? Yours is pretty.
I can't speak to what the other schools offer because I don't know what other certifications other schools offer. I do know that they have the basic criminal justice 1, 2, and 3. Some of the schools even offer that 4th year course that we talked about.
Right.
But I don't know what other types of certifications the other schools offer because that will differ from one school to another.
Gotcha. Well, believe it or not, we are finished. We are. No, this has been very, and goodness, just talking about Mr. Leonard, who I knew years ago, is a good feeling too. Well, thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
And keep up the good work.
Thank you.